Hi, my name is Dana, and I wanted to talk about the animation that I've been working on so far. I am almost done. I'm right now I have this is the what the line art is going to be looking at in the end. The main thing I'm going to have to fix is the hand. I feel like this hand is still a little bit too sketchy. Like I'm going to leave some sketch marks like the line here and the lines on these hands. I just think that this is still like a little bit too detailed. Yeah, I wanted it to be a little bit more sketchy. That's why I used a sketch brush. It's actually the same brush that's used for the redesign that I did over here that I had as a reference. Yeah, and then I'm still trying to figure out how to add the skirt lines. I'm struggling with them, but I would really like the pleats to be there. But yeah, this is what I started with, and this whole image animation is meant to be a re-animation of this animation right here. Like I was looking through my Instagram and I was trying to find animation to reanimate because I wanted to animate because since working on the Bird and the Fox and eventually going to be working on the Three Little Pigs film noir story, I wanted to I wanted to actually animate something, and I hadn't animated in a while. Besides, like the avatar that I've made for the videos, like that's the only thing I've animated in a while. So I was like, okay, let me animate something, and I was like, oh, what do I want to reanimate? So I decided this. This is what I'm essentially reanimating, but in like it's meant to be a redraw of like this image though. Like I didn't want to just have the flower like levitating without all of this extra kind of context for her story, which is meant to be that. Well, I kind of like finalized it recently that I wanted her to have been cursed by the flower. That's why she has like the thorns like attacking her as well. Like that, I want to add that onto the final image just to like emphasize the fact that this is a curse. Like this is like a bad thing. But yeah, this is meant to like it's supposed to be like a reanimation, but like of this image that I had made on Paint 3D. I took that as my inspiration, and to start on it, I wanted to take this character and redesign her again because this over here was technically her final design, but I was like, no, I want to do something different. So over here, this is where I was like doing the sketches, but this is also where I redesigned her, as you can see right here. Yeah, like I had this. I wanted to have a lot of like kind of frilly elements that almost kind of look like a flower, like a rose. Like that's why the skirt kind of like bumps out here. That's why these don't look like actual pleats. Pleats don't really look like this, but I wanted to give it kind of like a flower feel. And then there's the frills at the bottom. Same with here. Also in terms of the redesign, I wanted to actually give her a hair color. This is still purple. This is still relatively, well, let's see, is it actually purple? Ye- yeah, this is relatively purple. This is more purple than like pure brown. Like pure brown would be more over here. I even think, oh, her skin is a lot more like red. But like I wanted her hair to be more brown than what it originally was because what it was, well, originally it was red, like pure red, but is this one? Yes, this one. Here it was like just purely purple, and I didn't want that anymore. I also, sorry for flipping back and forth. I also wanted to give her glasses. Like none of my characters have glasses, mainly because I don't like drawing glasses, but it's a little bit weird as a glasses wearer that I don't have any characters that have glasses on. The other thing I changed was the color of the shirt. I did not like this like yellow color anymore. I was just like, that's too strong. I don't want it. So I just made it a white. It's still like yellow. It's not yellow. It's just like not this green kind of yucky yellow. I think it works in the original like images because it looks like it's a overlay. Like it looks like it's just like an overlay. Like it looks like natural, especially with this green as the background. It actually works in these images, but Here, it just felt simpler for it to be simpler. I still like the purple. I think that's nice. But yeah, so I redesigned her. There's even like this version where the skirt's a little bit more straight, but I wanted it to curve over a little bit more like a rose. Usually I don't show sketches this sketchy, but I thought it would be fun to like kind of look through my files, because why not? Like I'm even gonna show, where is it? Here was where I was kind of trying to figure out the pose that I wanted. I started over here with, this is the pose from the animation, and these are from the original Paint 3D image. Yeah, like these are mega sketch, but that's okay because I kind of wanted to show, at least nowadays, how I go about figuring out a pose and figuring out a composition. Is that I start with I start really small, and I just like go around the thing just trying to figure out what I'm looking for. I had a lot going on. It's almost like one of those things where you like write in your own handwriting and you're like kind of the only one who understands. I hope it's like a little bit I hope some of them are clear. I feel like some of these might be a little bit, like, these might be a little bit clear, especially once I said it. Um, I was actually really interested in, like, this one. It reminds me of a picture. I don't like that looks like that. This reminds me of an image that I did before. It's a little bit more like a burst of energy rather than in terms of the being cursed by the flower. This is more of what I ended up going with. Like, so what then I did was, let's see, is I took that image, made it a little bit bigger. Usually I would like trace over it, but I think I wanted to make the pose and composition a little bit clearer because this is a little bit closed and like you don't really see a lot of her limb. She's very like everything's kind of like stacked together, so you can't really see what's going on. This is still kind of like messy. I understand what's going on here though, like with the chest, there's the arm, like it's still like up like that. Don't know what's going on here. Like I know what's going on, but it's like a little bit hard to see. You can see one leg here, see the other leg here, and what I kept doing was is I took this and made this. Is that actually the same image? That actually might not be. But then I like make it bigger and I try to just find out like finalize it and detail it more as I keep going. So I just kept doing that. Like here you can see it a little bit more clear. You can see the actual hand. This is where I brought the hand down. I just felt like the hand being up was a little like I don't know, I think the lines didn't make sense. Let me see. If I go back here. Look, I think that also makes sense because obviously this is like causing her amount of pain because she isn't like trying, she doesn't want to necessarily grab this. She was, what I'm thinking was in the woods being nosy, and then she came across this like area with like a lot of roses. It's just like, oh, that's like weird. Like, oh, what's going on here? And then as she like stepped forward, the power of the flower just like kept bringing her in forward and like closer and closer. That's what I'm thinking. The probably the what's that bit called? The thorns, the vines kind of wrapped around her. That's what I'm thinking. But yeah, I just thought that the arm down looked a little bit better. It looked a little bit more like pained. Like, yeah, looked a little bit more pained. This is another sketch with the grabbing. Yeah, and I just kept like trying to finalize it. I think I got to this. Um, Something that eventually I'm gonna like work on is just keeping the momentum that goes on in the sketch to my finalized piece. I still think that this looks good, but there's something about this that's has a lot more, I don't know what the word is. It's just like I think I like the lines a little bit better. I don't know, maybe I need to draw with a thicker brush. I think that might look nice. But over here we have, like I said, this is like the final liner, but let's go to the animation. I did show this on, this was on the post, but Here we could like look at it in detail and I could explain what I was going with. So yeah, this actually doesn't look as, because this over here looks so, when I opened this file I was like, yo, what is this? What is going on? Honestly, there's like a lot of fire just because of the colors that I use. I was just like, yo, this is on fire right here. I don't know what is going on. But here, this is, why did it go back up? This is a lot more simpler, even though it also looks kind of chaotic because I didn't color things as well as I probably should have. But this is what I'm going to be using as my reference for when I animate the images that were the stuff that was up here. So the way that I did this was first actually initially doing like a template. Like I drew everything separate because if you see over here I have everything separate. I have the head, the arms, the shirt, skirt, legs, everything is separate. So I separated everything and I was just like, oh my god, wait, what do I do? I wasn't sure yet. So then I made this template of this like ridiculous little thing right here. Very, honestly, very helpful to do this initially, just so that I could figure things out without actually like adjusting and messing up the what I had so far. This was a lot better to mess with and figure things out. The main thing that I changed after doing all this was actually adding that extra motion into the skirt. I think that makes it look a lot better. So yeah, the main thing that I was really focusing on when I was initially making this pose, because obviously it's an idle animation, it's meant to just keep going. The main thing that I was focusing on was the chest, because the pose that she's doing, or the action that she's doing, is like breathing, but like it's strained, stressed breathing, because she's just like, I don't want to grab this thing. Why am I being pulled towards this thing? Ah, I'm scared. So, or she kind of looks a little bit more mad. She's just like, yo, what is going on? But I meant it so that she was breathing, and that was the main action. And when doing like little tests, breaths, I guess, to try and figure out what that would look like to animate, when I would breathe in really deeply, like I realized my head would go down while my chest was going up. And then when I would exhale, my chest went down and then my head went up. So that was the main thing that I was doing. Look, we could even boop, 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 boop. If we look, and maybe if we go like, bop. Even though the head goes down, you can see that it went from facing this way. I don't like when it does that. There we go. When it it's facing this way, and then we go over, and then it strains up a little bit as the chest is going down. Obviously, I wanted it so that the head was still connected. That's something that's obviously not happening with the arms. I need to come back to the arms. The arms are separate. I'm probably just gonna like draw like connections between them. Like I'm probably gonna still do the same thing where they're like kind of separate. Because if we look here, you can see that the arms, the like hand, that says leg arm. That's crazy. Is that they're like one removed from, if you look at here, every frame is like there, and then if you go here, this is the glasses head and the shirt, and then one thing over is a lot of the extra details. What's the skirt doing? The skirt's a little bit different compared to, oh yeah, the skirt's a little bit different. That's interesting. Look, admittedly, in terms of animating, I just kind of fly by the seat of my pants and do, I think, looks good. Like in the case of like the hair, like you can see the hair is like kind of going all over the, not all over the place, but it like has a lot more animations than everything else. I think just to make it look as smooth as possible. I'm just looking. Oh yeah, because then the hat also is kind of like... Actually, what is the skirt doing? Yeah, I guess I just went with whatever looked good. It looks admittedly. Nah, I was gonna say it looked choppy, but I don't think it does. I mean, the hat kind of does. I think I could add a little bit more in-betweening for the hat in the final version. I might even draw the hat over. I think the main thing for the hat was just keeping it in that kind of circular motion so that it wasn't just... So it looked like at least somewhat connected. And that's kind of the same for the hair. The hair is kind of doing a similar thing where it's going in a little bit of a circle. But for the most part, everything's just going like up, down, up, down, up, down, just to get that breathing motion as consistent as possible. But that's where I am with this so far. It's... Where is the... Oh, it's in here. Nope. Yep. I want to hide this. And then bring this back. Nope. Is that it? Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, that I had the hip out like too high too wide before, so then I like trimmed it out a little bit. But this is where I'm at so far. I am almost done. I think I got a little like, ooh, do I have enough time to finish the animation before the video? And I was like, no, I don't. So I decided to just make a little video of like looking through all the stuff that I have so far and just have like a little talk about it. I think this looks I think this looks nice so far. Like I said, I mainly just want to fix the hand. I think there's just too much detail in the hand. I think it's good hand. I like the hand. I did reference it off of a picture of my own hand. I finally took a picture. Before I was just kind of drawing it like I had my hand and I was like drawing with the other one while trying to replicate it. But I think this one's the best one just because I actually finally used a reference that wasn't constantly moving. But yeah, if you have any questions, ask me in the comments. See you later.